It's about that time of day again here, folks. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter, boys and girls. My name is Joseph James. It's Monday evening, March 2nd, 2015, the second day of this third month of the year 2015. We are cranking through the first quarter of the year 2015. I think we have another exciting newsletter for you guys. In tonight's newsletter, crude oil is bullish in the short term, but we're stuck around this $50 a barrel big round number. Thought we'd get it back down to 48, but it's stuck in the mud, jumped up today. So we're definitely on the bullish side, but I don't know if I'm drinking the bullish Kool-Aid just yet. We got a really big, easy clue today at the highs of the channel. Got a channel overshoot on crude today, and that tells us to look for a little bit deeper pullback before we try to buy this again. And you know me. I'm watching that long-term bearish trend, and we're keeping a close eye on the buyers tomorrow morning to see if and when they fail, okay? We'll talk more about crude in a moment. How about gold? Gold is coming right off the range highs, exactly what we had expected to happen, all the way up, and then today's collapse heading back towards that 1200. But today's collapse, though, gave us a bit of an overshoot to the opposite side, just like what crude suffered from today. That tells us to be patient tomorrow on gold before you start to sell again. So take your profit now on gold, and I'll give you some more information in just a few moments. Russell is bullish, but today's volume does not paint a very confident picture for the bulls being back in charge tomorrow. We do not see volume confirming those highs on the Russell this evening, and we even got a failed attempt to retest the highs, so we get a bit of a wedge. So we're expecting a larger correction tomorrow as well. As you can see, crude overshoot, expecting a bigger correction. Gold overshoot, expecting a bigger correction. And Russell gave us an undershoot, right? A little bit underwhelming at those highs, and so we'll expect a bigger correction for tomorrow. Bottom line, though, is we have an exciting newsletter to go over with you guys this evening. Before I begin, though, I do want to remind you here to make sure you're watching this video over here at sidewaysmarkets.com, our trading blog. There's 3 specific reasons why you should be watching this over on our trading blog. The first reason is you can download all of my charts for this evening's video. Follow that link right below the video. You can grab a free pass to come out and test drive our live trade room as a guest. That's right. Maybe you're curious about what it feels like to be in our live trade room as a member. I got a free pass for you in the upper left-hand corner. And of course, last but not least, third reason why, you can register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. All you need is your name and your email address, and I'm going to send you an email every evening when the newsletter is ready. So 3 things here tonight. Download today's charts, grab your free pass for my trade room as a trial member, and of course, register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. If you register for the mailing list or if you grab your free pass, I am going to send you a verification email, so please make sure you check your inbox to make sure I get the right email address. So don't forget, check your inbox, check your junk, your spam, whatever folders you got hanging around there these days. Check them all right? That way you'll get my verification email. How about that gold? How about that gold? Did we really think that gold was going to keep going higher? What could it possibly be going higher for, right? Strong dollar, great economy right now. At least we're seeing numbers of that right now in the U.S. A little bit of a surprise out of China. Of course, they're still really struggling in Europe, trying to negotiate another deal with Greece. But, nothing new here. And again, surprise, surprise, gold heads on its way back. And we gave you guys these options to sell last week, sell the highs, sell the highs, sell the highs. And as you can see here, you've really got some great selling opportunities off those highs. Here we are, though, now. Gold is bearish, coming off the range highs this evening. And you'll notice this is going to be a pretty consistent theme here this evening, right? The overshoot newsletter, right? That's a lot of what we're getting. We're getting a lot of this, getting kind of drunk on the Kool-Aid here. Whether or not you draw this channel low here, right there, right? That would be kind of the correct way to draw it. I just wanted to see if I was on the right track here, moved it down. Either way you slice it, we have an overshoot of this bearish channel. Basically, that just tells me that the sellers on gold get a little bit too aggressive on the sell side, and human beings are all the same. Well, we're all the same, but collectively here, we love to binge and then starve ourselves. We like to go from extreme to extreme. So extreme selling, there's going to be some profit taking. If it's not here, it'll be at 1203.9. I don't think we're going to go that much lower without a correction. Bottom line is, for tomorrow, be patient for a correction, and just a few, right? I was looking at this going, are you serious, Joe? We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Why not just put a brick wall right there? Well, I figured I'd give you guys all the details here. These are all there for different reasons, but they just happen to literally be lining up like Fort Knox, right? Waiting here. I wasn't intending that to be a joke tied to gold, but I guess that did work. But anyways, wait for the correction, and then we're looking to get short here on the way back down. And again, you can see here, pretty easy. There's our 1200. If we really get dipping down here, look for that 97.1, right? That'll be a nice juicy target there for you sellers on gold. But stay patient for tomorrow. Here's another really good looking chart here. This is a really nice looking chart. You can see get a nice midline right in the middle of this channel, coming off these highs. Nice hugging the lows, hugging the highs, 45-degree angle, 2 tests on each side. This is what dreams are made of. And of course, you can see obviously bearish. We're trading lower. We're right down at the lows of this channel right now, right? We're right down at the lows of this channel. So it's difficult to be a seller here right now. You're never going to hear me encourage you to sell the lows. I don't care how confident you are. We have to practice discipline to sell towards the highs, sell at resistance. So we don't want to sell these lows, so we're going to wait patiently to test the channel high, 1209, the resistance overhead, 1212. These are going to be some easy areas here overhead that we'll be looking for a nibble to the downside. If I had to guess right now, okay, if I had to guess, I would guess that the 1212 would be kind of your closest or your best bet. And the reason for that is just because of what we're seeing kind of over here. It's a little bit of a, a little bit of a range right there. Get a fake break at the low, back up, fake break at the high, comes back. So, again, if I had to guess, then, my gut instincts are not a trading strategy. I will follow the clues on the chart tomorrow. But 1212.6 does look like a pretty tasty area there if you kind of draw out what we kind of call the battle zones here, right, across the board there. So kind of keep that in mind for tomorrow, 1212.6. Just stay patient. Trade what the chart says. And if you don't know how to read what the chart says, then come out and join me. I'll teach you how to read these charts. It's really not that difficult. The hardest part of being a trader is keeping our fingers off the buttons, right? You know what I'm talking about. Let's keep moving. On the Russell, just a little bit bullish. I know everything seems to be bullish right now. NASDAQ, how cool is that, right? How cool is that? NASDAQ goes back to 5,000, goes back to those bubblish highs, right, from the year 2000. I can't even believe that was 14 years ago, right? I was just getting out of high school. I had just converted all my computers, right, for the Y2K. Do you remember that craziness that ensued? Right? Just a drop in the bucket now, but I mean, you think about how crazy everybody got, right, for that Y2K thing. Oh my goodness, gotta love the news media, right? As if, and I'm glad to see the news media is done, inflating all this stuff. Right. The fear mongering from the news media, right? I'll tell you, it's really difficult to want to get cable television these days because, I mean, what are you doing it for? The local news? Come on, right? All right, Russell's bullish, but today's volume does not confirm. Check it out here. Couple clues at the highs, really. I mean, there's really 2 big clues here that tells us, obviously, we're bullish. We're making higher highs. We're keeping higher lows. There's no doubt about the fact that we're bullish. We're going to keep looking to be a buyer here. What the heck was I thinking here? Why didn't I line these up? Are we not paying you enough over here, JJ? What's going on? Line those things up. And here we see a very interesting clue, right? We definitely have volume. Looks like it confirms, but wait. What? We don't get a new high. So obviously that is divergence. Divergence is it's a good clue. But bottom line though is that volume going higher like that, we should have made new highs, right? We should have made new highs. So today's volume combined with the lower high does not confirm that we have strength here to the upside. Looks to me like that volume is nothing more. It's tied to a red candle. So looks like that volume is nothing more than sellers, or should I say buyers, taking their profit, right? They see the undershoot. That's the second thing. The second clue we see on the Russell is the undershoot. Right? Why were we unable to get all the way back up to that high? Good question. Doesn't really matter why, but the reality is, though, is that the undershoot of the channel high, combine that with the volume confirming, looks like profit taking. I tend to agree. So we have an undershoot. That's a giveaway. Volume's a giveaway. bottom line is, even if I told you the buyers were in full control right now, I would still finish this by saying we still have to wait. So really all this does right now is it tells me you can get short here if you'd like right now. That's really the only difference between what I would have said if volume did confirm and if we did hit the highs. Even if we did go back to the highs and if volume confirmed, I still would have said, I'm sorry, but you can't buy right here. You've got to wait for it to come down before you can buy next, right? Maybe off the midline. There's a nice little well-behaved midline in there, right? You're going to get some support there. You'll get some support there. But, if these undershoots hold up as they usually do, that's going to put me right down around this 1226. So here's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for buyers to try to get in and fail. And when they do, if you're a member of mine, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the buyers fail. Basically, look for the buyers to take the bait. Look for a big red candle right in their faces and make sure you get the right entry trigger to the downside. So we go up, we pull back, try to go higher, right? The buyers are going to buy this moving average. They're going to buy the midline. So again, you could sell it now, you could wait for a buyer failure, or you can really just stay patient if you're a long-term buyer and wait to nibble on these lows as we pull back. So a little bit aggressive getting short off the highs. I think the easiest way to do it to get short would be to wait for the buyers to try and then fail. And again, don't forget, you know where to reach me tomorrow if you need help learning how to do that. Last but not least here, this chart gives it away, right? I mean, come on. What more do you want? I could stop talking right now and you would know exactly what's happening on this chart, okay? So Russell's bullish, no question about that. We got higher highs, higher lows. Midline, not as well respected on this chart as we saw on the last one. But as you can see, though, again, failure to get back to those highs. What I would expect to happen right now on this Russell is we're probably going to bounce off that moving average. We're probably going to bounce off that midline. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to see the buyers most likely take this bait right here. And, it might go just the top of the wedge. It may go a little bit higher. But, again, once you see these buyers take that bait, and then you see a couple big, fat, red candles just closing straight down, that's going to be your clue. That's your clue. Okay? And then, of course, if you really want to get disciplined on this, right? That'd be the first one, right? So wait for the buyers to fail, break it down. You could also look for a 3-point reversal, right? Break the trend line and wait for the collapse. Then that would be a little bit later on in the process. Or you can do what I mentioned earlier, which would be just simply say, heck with it, I'm going to wait for price to come down and try to buy that low. So you can be a little bit aggressive, right? Looking for those buyers to fail if you want. You can also be a little bit less aggressive and look for a full-blown, fully cooked reversal pattern. You can learn more about that in my free trial. Or you can be like I recommend here for the patient buyers looking to buy these lows here, buying the lows, buying support levels after the price comes down, right? So pick your poison here. Either you're going to be a little bit aggressive selling short off these highs, and the reason why I recommend the reason why I call it aggressive and the reason why I'm even talking about a short is because of that volume analysis and because of that undershoot of that channel high, right? It gives those sellers a little bit more window of opportunity here to grab it right now, and we're not so worried about those buyers. All right, guys? So be on the lookout for a bull trap at this moving average at the midline. Wait for the bull trap to actually trap and fail, and then off to the race to the downside. Shouldn't be that difficult. We'll see how this thing looks tomorrow morning when we come in and open up our live trade room. Next up here, how about we finish up with some crude? Shall we? Yeah. Now, boy, this time last week, we were just getting into a big, if you remember, a big megaphone last week. We were just starting to see this range around 50. Now we're really seeing this $50 a barrel. It is not messing around. I'll tell you, last Friday though, I was drooling over this trap to fail, and it just never did. Right? We got to move up, went sideways. That's a breakout trap, right? Very, very easy. And I'm going, just give me a chance to get it short here when it fails, and it just never failed. And of course, you can see it went right back to 50, and we were pretty much toast until we came in this morning. We go right back into this, kind of battle zone here this morning, and then right at 10 o'clock, it was just see ya, sucker, and just took off to the upside. I mean, literally blowing right through the highs of the channel, up to 51. We pretty much had projected it up to 51. You can see it's pretty easy to see why it went there, right? Kind of a measured move there. So it was relatively easy to know where it was going, but the fact that it just took off so quickly above that bull channel, that's really what gives us a reason to be a little bit careful here to be a buyer. So let's take a look here. Crude oil is bullish in the short term. You can see that. Higher highs, higher lows. But we got that $50 a barrel big round number, which is acting like a big price magnet right now. Today's overshoot of that channel high, these are usually very consistent. I'm very confident with these over-unders, right? So can I call them over-unders? You get an overshoot at the high, and so we are going to expect it. Now, that's why I say there's a bull trap right here, because there's going to be some buyers that don't quite understand the technique of an over-under. So we know there's going to be some buyers here. Take it to 50. I wouldn't be looking to be a buyer, though, until we get a little bit lower. Honestly, I would wait to get a little bit lower before I start buying the sucker because of that overshoot, right? They went a little bit heavy to the upside, and there's going to be some profit taking. Just based on the way it looks right now, this bull trend is very, very fragile here right now, okay? So let's not forget the long-term downtrend is still in place, okay? We still have that long-term bearish trend still in place. We got a relatively short-term bullish move here over the past few days. Blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. The $50 a barrel level is our magnet right now. So again, I'd be looking for those buyers to fail. So I'm going to be watching very closely here. On the next chart, you'll see we're looking at selling short down to this 49 area, right? That takes us down to our over-under support. So I would definitely be very skeptical of being a buyer here until we get down to these lows, right? And then you can start looking to be a buyer again. But you know me, I'm always a little bit bearish here on this crude until proven otherwise. And so I'm going to be looking for those buyers to try and fail. And if they start to fail tomorrow morning, if we wind up tomorrow morning down around 49 and we try to make a run towards 50 again and we start seeing those buyers struggle, you know what's going on, right? You know what's going on. That overshoot has really kicked into high gear. So that's a definite clue there on the crude. And then I think one of the most important charts here of this evening is right here in front of you. And this is where I would expect our two big zones to be. You get two battle zones here you can see. So crude oil is bearish on this chart. We get a lot more information off this chart. Crude oil looking a lot bearisher, right? You get kind of a midline in there. Pretty ugly channel, but when you line it up with a midline on it, it does fit pretty flawlessly there. Fits pretty well at the lows, fits pretty well at the highs. And again, the midline, I think, is what really gives it away, right? That midline really gives it away. So we're bearish coming off the overshoot. Again, we expect an undershoot. The undershoot now, look, the undershoot puts us right back into that battle zone, right down at that battle zone low. And of course, if you're a member of mine, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say over-under. You know how to calculate it. You know what you're looking for. It's in my advanced course under the price action cycle. We know, though, that we expect the buyers here, though, they're going to try to push this thing, unknowingly so, right? They're going to try to push this thing higher here, but that is going to get us right into this battle zone overhead, 50.32. So scenario one is that we go higher, right? Test that 50.30, 50.40, possibly all the way up to 50.70, but it shouldn't last much longer before we come right back down into this battle zone. And $49 a barrel appears to be the tasty area there for those sellers. You can see we already wicked up, tested the 50. That may be all we get before it comes back down. Again, though, I'm telling you right now, difficult to be a buyer here on crude until we get around that $49 a barrel, just because of that overshoot. We expect the undershoot at the opposite direction. And then, unfortunately, we're going to be running right into this battle zone here at 49. And when I say battle zone, I had to come up with a creative name for it. It's really just a consolidation range. If you were looking at a volume profile chart, right, there'd be a lot of volume piled up here, right? It'd be a volume, kind of a volume bump, right, on that chart, right? There'd be another one up here too. So if you're looking at volume at price, right? Volume on the right side margin. You'd see volume piling up there around 50-50, around 49. So that's why I say chances are pretty high here on Crude to go up overnight. You're going to get some profit taking off that high. You're also going to get some late adopters here to that bullish trend, and then look for it to sell back down to that battle zone. Also, too, if we just roll right over, you've got the green light here to be selling short, right? Look for your continuation patterns to the downside. But I definitely am going to tell you, though, be careful selling short below that 48.78. That's definitely where we expect to see that under, over, under completion. And so what I've been looking for there is definitely looking for the buyers to mount a good run back to the 50 from there. You know me, though, what I said earlier. I'm going to look for those buyers here, though, to whoopsie-daisy and fall. And if they do, we're going to probably see this thing go right back to 48 here, finish what we had started at the end of last week. Okay, little bit difficult to be a buyer right now on Crude. I do understand that we do have a bullish move here, but again, the over-under tells a story right now. And of course, as we always remind you guys, you do not need to be doing this on your own. So if I'm speaking Greek, and that really hits close to home for a lot of us right now. But if I'm speaking Greek to you, that is an expression here in the United States. If I am talking gibberish to you right now, there's another crazy language. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, don't forget you can always come out and get properly educated over here at SchoolOfTrade.com. Every day we open up our live trade room at 8 o'clock in the morning and we trade this stuff with our students every single day. Don't forget, want to remind you guys, download my charts here for today. Grab your free pass. Register for the mailing list here at School of Trade. And don't forget, if you happen to stumble over here to SchoolOfTrade.com, we have the very best trial in the business. And I've been saying this for a long time. If anybody's got a better trial than I have, I would really love to know about it. Shoot me an email. Drop me a comment. Throw me a bone. Let me know who else is giving you this much value for free $99. I'll prove to you guys I know what I'm talking about. I'll put my money where my mouth is, that free trial. While you're here, don't forget 3 levels of membership. And, of course, we got someone standing by to help you guys out 24/7, 365. Here we are in the month of March, guys. The month of March, we are 1 week away from daylight savings time. 1 week. 1 week, and I'm not leaving the office in the dark. 1 more week. Whew. I can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you all had a fantastic, restful weekend with the family and friends. Now, be well. Be nice to each other, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. Eastern Time, opening up my trade room. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow evening, same time, same place. Now, just a heads up, I might be a little bit late tomorrow. I got to go in. I got to meet with a bunch of people tomorrow afternoon, kind of in between trading hours and newsletter time tomorrow. So I'm about 90% sure I'm going to get my newsletter done tomorrow night, but here in Los Angeles, there's no train, there's no, my private helicopters in the shop right now. They actually scare the bejesus out of me. I would never get in one. But the bottom line is, though, I'm planning on getting the newsletter out for tomorrow night. It might be a little bit late, just an FYI. And if for some crazy reason they shut the freeways down for Obama again, I might just be sleeping in my car and come back tomorrow. So just be aware. I'm probably gonna be a little bit late for the newsletter tomorrow. I plan on doing it though, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. All right. Have a great evening out there. Like I said before, be well, be nice to each other, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye bye for now.